All right, we just got done catching bait, and you know, 9 out of 10 times I tell everybody that I throw my 10-foot 1/4 inch talon net that's 1.3 pounds per foot. But today, for some reason, as soon as I would throw the net, those bait fish would scatter like they typically do, but they would not come back in. They would wait until I pulled the net up, and then they would come back in. I'd throw it again, they'd spook, and then I couldn't get them in the net. So luckily for me, I always carry at least 2 nets on the boat. I carry my 10 1/4 1.3, and I carry a 10 3/8 1.5. Just simply because if I do run into a situation like that, I can throw the heavier net, and more times than not, I will be able to catch the bait, and that's exactly what happened. So instead of throwing my 10 1/4 1.3, I had to throw my 10 3/8 1.5. It went through the water column faster. So I personally always try to have 2 nets on the boat, just in case I run into that situation. Matter of fact, I actually have 3 nets on this boat. But I typically go between the 2, but the 10 1/4 1.3 is the one 90% of the time that gets it done for me. So if you only have 1 net on your boat, you might want to rethink and buy 2. You can buy 2 Talon cast nets for one of a lot of the name brand nets that are out there, and the Talon cast net throws perfect. It throws wonderfully. We've got a lot of people starting to buy them, and I understand why, because I love the way they throw. They catch bait, they do everything I need it to do, they're strong. So but that's just my little tip for today so far, is at least have 2 nets on your boat. Brian's got him on another fish. That's 2 in a row. Two grunt. Well, I gotta say, it's a lot windier out here than what they said it was gonna be.
Yes.
I'm using a 3/4 ounce Huggy, the live bait, hooking them through the top. I've already caught 1 snapper. Hate talking with this thing. That's okay. Tide and the wind are going against each other, so that helps us. The reason why Chad's not with us today is Chad got COVID. Then our buddy Dirty Ernie got COVID. So they're feeling somewhat better, but they went fishing together. I told them, go. I don't want you on the boat with me. I just got my butt handed to me. Brian's got one, probably another grunt. Oh no, little grouper. The boat keeps swinging with this tide and with this wind. We were facing the other way just a minute ago, so it swung us this way. I would absolutely hate to try to anchor in this stuff. I've got 2 snapper in the box. Brian's got 2 grunts. Come on, Brian.
Come on.
Man.
I'll get it. Oh, look at you.
Oh, he rocked me. He hit, I mean, he was like, oh. I'm like, come on, man.
I'm going to shut the pipe down with doesn't break off.
Shut up, Brian. Boy, he had me all in that ledge. God bless America.
Listen, I got a snapper.
Brian got a snapper.
I got a snapper.
Right now, folks, we're in the middle of the, you don't have to point that one. We're in the middle of the major, and it's like, as soon as that bait's getting down there, they're on it. Nice snapper for the winter time. Brian just got broke off, so there's been something going on inside the bay from the port north up towards Little Cock, or to the Little Manatee River. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if red tide affected that area a lot or what, but as soon as we go past the port, we have not been catching anything except for pinfish. I'm marking a ton of fish on the bottom, but every time we drop down, it's pinfish. But every time we go from the port south out towards the Gulf, we do very well. So right now, that's what we're concentrating on our efforts on, is we're fishing just outside the mouth, and that's how fast it is. And we're gonna work our way in towards the Skyway. I'm not really sure what happened, but as Brian and I were talking about it when we were driving out here, we wonder if when that red tide went from Piney Point across the bay to St. Pete, that it didn't decimate that area, because it's almost right in the swath of where that red tide went. So I don't know if that affected it, if that affected that area and it pushed those grouper and snapper out of there, but the last 3 times I've fished up that way, I have not caught any fish except for pinfish. So something's definitely up there, and I know I've been contacted by quite a few people asking and saying the same thing, that they're not catching any fish up that way. So something happened there, and I'm not quite sure what it is, but I can almost say that it has to have something to do with the red tide. So anyway, we've adjusted ourselves and we started working out towards the Gulf, and we're right in the Gulf. We're right at the mouth, and the fishing's on fire. I need to stop talking and go fishing. It's a better snapper. Yep.
That's
boom.
a nice one.
All right, well, you know how I talk about color doesn't matter? Well, Brian and I were using the Limerita, this color, and we were both catching fish. Well, then Brian broke off and he went to the hot pink, and I still had the Limerita. And he goes, well, and he wasn't getting hits, I was getting hits, and he said to me, if you drop down one more time and get bit, I'm changing back to green. Well, I dropped down, I put a cut bait down there, immediately got hit, got railed, and then broke off. And now he's going to green. Let's see if he can catch fish. Now, we have noticed that the live thread fins seem to be getting hit much faster than the white bait. Don't know, I'm dropping down a cut bait now to see what happens. First cut bait I put down there, I got railed. Are you getting hit?
Yeah, we're on it.
There you go. Oh. That right there, folks, tells you that
Buy Limeritas.
that I guess color does make a difference. I didn't think it ever did, but sometimes I guess it does. But this water is extremely milky. It's extremely dirty because we've had a lot of wind here lately. Ow!
That's so weird.
I don't know if I remember a time where one was using one color and one was using the other color, and the color made a difference. Well, I switched to a Stewie jig, and the candy apple pink, it doesn't seem to matter. I think it was just Brian.
It very, very well could have been Nanner, man.
Stewie circle. Well, folks, you just saw it in action, the red bone rod. 7 foot, heavy action, getting it done. Put a lot of pressure on that fish. He about whooped me, but I wasn't letting him do it. We're still in that major. It's been nuts. Almost every bait down has been fish. We've lost some big fish right at this spot. Brian, what is it with you and the triggerfish near shore?
I zone in on them. I zone in on them. Ow, dude.
That's a nice one.
I know. That thing's fat.
Yeah.
I just go to show people you don't have to go 20 miles offshore. You can go 4, 2.
Not even. Yeah, we may be a mile and a half.
It's a pretty one.
See, that's the cool thing about Tampa Bay is that you just never know what you're going to catch. Even though we are technically in the Gulf, but we're about a mile and a half from shore. So you just never know what you're getting. That's his second triggerfish that he's caught out here, which I've never caught one before this close to shore. So it's pretty cool. You never know what you're going to get when you're out here. But we're just coming off that major feeding time. The bite has slowed down quite a bit, but we're still catching fish, but it's just not as strong as it was. But the tide picked up just a little bit right before it slacks off. But I think we're gonna get into some more fish. I think if we do it right, we're gonna get into some more fish and catch a lot. We've already got a cooler full of snapper.
Those triggers were caught on shrimp.
Yeah.
Right here. Just look up through the tail, straight down.
Look at you, Mr. Educational Nanner Man. It's all good. It's all good.
That's how I do it. See what happens.
Now
again.
let's just see if you can catch a fish. On camera.
That probably won't happen.
Oh my God.
I can.
Is that a snapper? It's acting like a snapper.
Snapper or small grunt.
Yep, snapper.
I can do it on demand. Right on cue. Telling you, 2022, it's a new year. Whole new Nanner Man.
Whole new Nanner Man.
Whole new Nanner Man.
Watch out now. Nanner Man is in fuego. Okay. Okay.
You don't see it very well, but when they come up out of the water, it's like the blue
Yeah.
on the edge of the tails.
Yeah.
And beautiful. But the camera never picks it up, but it's so cool.
Come on, man.
If you're going to get it that close, Todd.
I know, right? Might as well bring it in the boat. Folks, if you like to use cut bait, I highly recommend getting our bait cutters. We have one that's a normal bait cutter and then one that sits on top of a bucket and you slide the door and it comes out. Use this thing, you can have cut bait really quick, you can have chum really quick. So I love this thing. It saves the day when it comes to cutting bait. How was the ride back? That's why we just got in here. We ran from the mouth that way and then up this way.
Yeah, it was still him. I'm like, we gotta go across. It's a nice one. Todd's got another one.
Dude, that major feeding time, woo, was it when you got, it was,
That was when we caught everything.
yeah.
That was over. It was over.
It was fire.
It slowed way down for us, but we were able to pick around. But that was crazy. That.
Well, folks, I told you, that's the COVID boat right there. Get away from us. All right, guys, we'll see you later. Be careful. Yeah, Dirty Ernie, Queen Katie, and Eye Candy all went on the COVID boat today. They all fought. Well, I don't think Katie has, but Ernie and Chad fought COVID this last week. So I said, good riddance, go out in the COVID boat. Brian and I are just fine.
We are just fine here on this boat.
But they went out about 15 miles and they're little cray-cray. They caught 6 keeper hogs, some porgies, and that's about it. Well, folks, what we're doing is we're fishing a ledge that's right in the middle of the shipping channel. And this ledge actually has been very good for me for red grouper, keeper red grouper. So I told Brian, I said, well, let's stop by this spot and see if there is. Oh, there's no red grouper, but we're catching gags, so at least it's something. Brian, are you playing with my camera?
It fell down, it was pointing at the boat. Just trying to help.
Nanner man, messing with the camera gear.
Doing the camera gear is about as good as I do the net. Can't say fishing because my fishing game's turned around.
Game, it says turn around. I gotta admit, I'll give you that.
Fishing game has turned.
Your fishing game has definitely turned. Huh. Little. What we did is we came into the bay. It started getting really windy out there, so we decided to come up in the bay. We're fishing between the Skyway and the port, and there's fish here. We've caught grouper. I caught a 22-inch grouper, caught a small snapper, caught some grunts. So definitely there's fish here. So we might stop somewhere past the port going back in, just to see if we run into the same issue that we've run into in the past few weeks where we haven't caught anything in that area.
Didn't have a bad day. Had a few good keeper snappers.
Well, folks, it was another great day on the water. It was a lot of fun. Brian and I got a chance to go out. We didn't want to be involved with the COVID boat, so we stayed way away from them. And so anyway, we caught a lot of snapper, caught grouper, caught a triggerfish, caught a lot of fish. That major feeding time, though, was dead on today. It was fire. For 2 hours, it was absolutely fire. And it was such a good bite. And but we got that front coming in, so I think things were starting to put on the feed bag, just like I said in the Friday fishing forecast. But again, I want to say thank you to everybody for all of the support. We really appreciate it. Again, we are going to be at the St. Pete Boat Show this coming weekend, Thursday through Sunday, the 20th through the 23rd. So come on up and see us. We'll have all of our gear there. You can buy stuff from us, or you can just come up there and shoot the bull with us. But anyway, I just want to say thanks again. Fish more, catch more, and we'll see you on the flip side.